Welcome to Build Your Dream Network. I'm Kelly Hoey. I see people struggling to connect effectively all the time, so I created this podcast to help you master your network building needs. Whether you're seeking a new job, looking for a promotion, or scaling your business, you need a network, and you're in the right place to get the advice you need. And don't worry, my advice is real, it's actionable and practical because it's the advice I follow and is what has transformed my career from the traditional to the unexpected. So let's get started. Inspiration for today's episode of the podcast was a walk around the block. Now, I live in the middle of Manhattan, so I can assure you that does provide for interesting encounters and a wide spectrum for inspiration. But you're safe, sort of. The source of my inspiration was a sign outside a prominent midtown hotel that read, "Book your office holiday parties now." Yes, today's episode focuses on the holidays, as at in around the holidays are wonderful times to connect with your network. Don't worry, I'm not going to suggest you throw a holiday party or ramp up your holiday card list. I don't do either of these things. One, because my apartment is too small, and two, over the last 6 years, I've been a frequent traveler in December, and three, I've never gotten around to it. Instead, I found other ways to connect and engage with my network over the holidays in ways that work for me. Listen, if you do host a holiday party and send out cards to all your friends, let me just say this. Well done. You are the social glue that makes networking more joyful for the rest of us. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. As for everyone else, let me share a few ideas with you. When you receive an invitation for a holiday party, don't toss it aside in the get to it sometime pile. Open your calendar, check the date, and respond to the host or hostess immediately. I may not organize and plan parties now, but I have in the past. RSVPs are included for a reason, to help the host plan their event. Do them a favor and come to a decision quickly as to whether or not you're going to attend. Once you've RSVP'd, reread the invitation again. Is it a personal invitation, or can you bring a plus one? When in doubt, reach out to the host or event planner. Do not assume. I've lived through the awkward and unexpected arrivals for a sit-down event. The rush to find another chair to squeeze someone in, all the while making it look like it is no trouble at all, is a hassle and annoying. And it is preventable. Read the darn invite. If the event is fluid, like a cocktail party, rather than a dinner or some other structured event, remember you don't have to stay all evening. Arrive early, talk to the hosts, say your hellos, then politely take your leave. Most people understand how overscheduled the holidays are. Don't feel guilty about it or overly apologetic. I mention this as your RSVP reflex could be set to turning down invitations when you are unable to stay for the duration of an event. Let yourself off the hook. You don't have to stay for the full event. RSVPing in a timely manner is one way to help out the host, but you can look for other ways too. Friends of mine in Brooklyn invite me for Thanksgiving every year. They are generous hosts who carefully plan the menu and table setting for their guests. If I showed up at their house with a bottle of wine or flowers, I'm sure they'd be grateful. However, I pack my dishwashing gloves instead and pitch in with the dishes between courses. I've always taken the attitude of whoever cooks doesn't have to do the dishes, and maybe this is why I keep receiving invitations to attend their Thanksgiving dinner. Doing the dishes may not be your thing, so take a look around and see how else can you help out the host. From sampling the punch to showing another guest where to hang their coat, use your eyes and ears, as those are your best networking tools. At the top of the podcast, I mentioned that I don't send out holiday cards. I used to. Then I got divorced, and the thought of being cheerful the first Christmas was impossible. And 1 year of skipping the holiday cards slipped into 2. And when year 3 rolled around, I came up with a new strategy, since my writing the card muscle had kind of atrophied. My new strategy is to respond to holiday cards. You heard that correctly. I respond to holiday cards. I write personalized notes back to those who send me cards. I refer to something they tell me in their holiday note. I seek updates on their kids or pets or work. It's a tactic that I've used, and guess what? It creates a dialogue, which isn't that what we really want from sending out a note or a card? Another big upside of this strategy is there's no deadline as to when I send a response. I mean, when you send out holiday cards, you kind of want to get them out there and get them arriving by a certain date, right? But responding to cards is another thing altogether. 1 year, I spent the holidays with friends in Australia. In my luggage, I packed the holiday cards, still in their envelopes, that I received before I left. While on vacation, I open responded to the cards, seeking out fun postcards or locally designed notes for my responses. When I returned home from vacation, I was delighted to find one of my favorite holiday cards. Friends of mine always send a New Year's card to their network, as sending out cheerful communications before December 31st is impossible given their work commitments. These approaches to handling the holidays now work better for me than entertaining the idea of entertaining or entertaining the idea of creating a holiday card list. And I'm sharing them with you as a way of encouraging you to let go of the idea that there is only one way to reciprocate or contribute. Other than RSVPing by the date requested by the host, there is no you must, as in you must also host a party or you must also send out holiday cards. Rigid rules cause networking paralysis. And networking or network building is an activity. And over the holidays, it should be an enjoyable one. All of this is meant to be encouragement for you to find a way to connect with your network in ways and with gestures that uniquely are and genuinely work for you. Do you have any other suggestions or twists on the expected ways we connect over the holidays? If so, I'd love to hear about them. Happy holidays and keep networking. I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Build Your Dream Network. Stay connected and don't miss a networking insight by subscribing to the podcast. And while you're there, I'd love you to rate and review the show too. Are you looking for more networking advice? Pick up a copy of my book, Build Your Dream Network. It's your guide to modern networking. I'd like to hear your networking questions, tips, and ideas. Connect with me via my website, jkellyhoey.co. You'll find links to all my social media accounts, plus a contact form to email me your questions. I'm Kelly Hoey, and I'll be back again next week to tackle your networking challenges.